Wow, in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you how crochet changed my life. That is a very big claim, but I'm going to be giving you all the tea, telling you exactly all that has happened and what exactly made me say crochet changed my life. So if this is the first time you're seeing me, my name is Kautar from Lagos, Nigeria, and I'm a crocheter. I got into crochet over 15 years ago. I think it was in 2007 when if I remember correctly, I saw a classmate of mine. She was crocheting, she was making a bag, and I was fascinated. Honestly, I was fascinated. I looked, then I told her I liked what she was doing. I told her to teach me, and she was like, "Oh, she's not sure how she can explain it to me, but I should just look at her, and eventually I'm going to figure it out." So I looked, I was looking and looking. This was the time where we had finished our exams. If you're not from this part of the world, here in Nigeria, when we're going to school, after exams, there's usually nothing to do. So students are just coming to school and just playing, doing extracurricular activities and all. That was the time when I saw her. So like every day when we'll be going to school, that was all I was going to look at, how she was making the bag and all. Then I went home, told my mom to get me a yarn and hook, and I started practicing. Eventually, I got it. I'm just going to save you the long story. I got it. I figured it out, and I'd been crocheting since 2007 till date. And let me tell you, it's been. I mean, learning how to crochet is one of the best decisions of my life so far. Even though at the time I didn't know it, I just learned because it looked fascinating. I liked what she was doing. I wanted to know how to do it. So I didn't even know that it was called crochet at the time. I used to call it knitting back then. If you're in the same shoes, I want you to know that knitting and crochet are two different crafts, okay? So yeah, I picked up crocheting. I would always crochet. I would always crochet. After learning, I loved making scrunchies. I started out making a purse because that's what she was making when I learned. Then I saw people making caps. I tried making caps. It wasn't working out. And I saw people making scrunchies. I tried making scrunchies, and scrunchies quickly became my favorite things to make. And I would make scrunchies on and off. Like at every point in time, I just pick up crochet. I was even crocheting in times when I didn't remember that I was crocheting. Like my classmates would just see me. I'm like, "You're still doing this thing. I remember you doing it when we were in university," and I didn't remember that because I learned when I was in junior secondary school. Anyway, cut long story short, I'd always crochet. I enjoyed crocheting so much. And fast forward to when I finished school, I got my first job. It was in Abuja. And I went to Abuja. I was working. I was a workshop manager for a fashion brand. And yeah, work was just going because I lived in Lagos, but I had to move to Abuja for the job. I was staying with someone, but I was looking at getting my own place down the line. I wasn't looking at staying with someone permanently. Eventually, I had to leave Abuja because the location was the big barrier. I didn't want to continue staying with somebody in Abuja. Like I wanted my own space, but the job wasn't going to be able to pay enough for me to afford my own space. So I just moved back home to Lagos. But all along, I was still crocheting, mind you. Like I clearly remember getting a yarn, getting a hook in Abuja, and just crocheting at night when I'd come back from work just to relieve me of the stress and just calm me down. Came back to Lagos, and of course, I started hunting for a job because I mean, that's the time when you start looking for a job. I was done with school. I started applying. Oh my goodness, I applied for jobs for so long, went for so many interviews, nothing was forthcoming. So, you know what? I said I was going to start my business because I wasn't getting a job. I needed a source of income, and I knew how to sew. I learned how to sew before going for NYSC. So, I decided I was going to start my fashion brand, but I didn't have capital. So, I was looking for like alternative means to raise capital to start my fashion brand. And then along the line, I was also learning makeup from my friend because I realized that I just don't like being idle. And at that time, there was nothing at all I was doing. I didn't have anything doing. So I was just learning makeup from my friend. I'd take classes. She'd tell me to just practice and practice and practice so that I could get it. And it was on one of those occasions after practicing my makeup, I put one of the scrunchies I had made in the past. I put it in my hair and I sent a picture to my friend as I normally do. After she complimented my makeup, made corrections, she then was saying that she loved what I put on my hair, and she wanted me to buy it for her. That was what gave me the idea to start selling scrunchies because remember I was looking for a job, nothing was showing up. But just my friend saying that she wanted that thing I put on my hair. I'm like, you know what? Because I was already in that headspace where I was looking for a way to raise money. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I can actually sell scrunchies to make money because I mean, I have so many scrunchies at the time. I was always making scrunchies and keeping them. I didn't even used to use them. Honestly, I'll just make them and keep them at home. So I got the idea to start, and let me just save you the long story. I started my crochet business in 2017. Luckily for me, I got a job. So I was the first few months of my business, even though the business wasn't great, I wasn't making so much money. But again, I had a job at that time. So I was sort of like just making it work, bringing in money from the job, putting it into my business. And the first few months, I was able to resign from the job because I had taken money from the job to put in my business. So I resigned and I started doing my business full time, selling crochet pieces. It was going well. In fact, people started asking me for other crochet items. At the beginning, I told them, oh, I only want to sell scrunchies. I don't sell other crochet items. You can reach out to other vendors to buy those things. But as time went on, bear in mind that before this time, I had never learned crochet officially. And scrunchies were the only thing I knew how to do at that time when I started my business. But now that I started the crochet business, I was on Instagram, I was seeing other crochet pages, I was seeing other crochet pieces, I was going on Pinterest, I was going on YouTube. Even though I was like trying to learn how to build my business, I was seeing other crochet pieces. I'm like, oh really? You can crochet this, you can crochet this. Because I didn't know, you guys, crochets were the only things I was like familiar with and was just making. But then I started looking into crocheting other things, crocheting clothes, crocheting blankets, and then I started learning. I'm like, okay, not bad. Then I started taking orders from people because, like I said, people were even sending me pictures. When I was only advertising scrunchies, people would send me pictures of crochet sweater, crochet top. Hey, can you make this for me? So when I started learning how to make those things, I started taking the orders from people. My business was growing slowly, slowly on Instagram. It was growing slowly, slowly because I mean, I'd resigned from my job, so the business was what I was doing full time. I was trying to learn from everywhere how to grow my business. I was trying to learn on YouTube. I was like, going on all pages on Instagram, just trying to learn how to grow an online business because that was the only source of income I had at that time. So I started learning, and it was working out. Honestly, of course, I wasn't making like loads of money, but I was at least making money to survive. Because I remember clearly that I didn't have any other source of income at that time. Like I'm from Nigeria, and in this part of the world, after your parents have paid for you to go through school, they feel like you're on your own when you're done with school. Like you should also work hard, make money for yourself. So the only source of income I had was that crochet business. It just had to work. So I was doing my best. Then down the line, I think this was in a year after I started my crochet business, somebody reached out to me with an idea to start another business. Okay, so currently I have more sources of income, but then somebody reached out to me, and I feel like the guy reached out to me because he saw how I was pushing my crochet brand. Do you understand? So I feel like that new business opportunity came as a result of my crochet business and the consistency, the dedication I had put into it. So then I started another business, and then it was going. It was going well, you guys. And then I started getting requests from people to teach them how to crochet. So I diversified. I wasn't only selling crochet items, I was then teaching people how to crochet. So far, this is work from home opportunity, you guys. I've been working from home since 2017. So I started teaching people how to crochet, and slowly I started selling crochet patterns. Okay, teaching, selling crochet patterns, selling crochet items. So alone from crochet, that's three different sources of income that I've been able to create just off of the back of knowing how to crochet. And if that is not a change of life, I don't know what is. Because whenever I think about the fact that I don't even have to go into work, like leave home, go to work, commute to work, I'm just so thankful because I'm actually coming from like ground, like ground zero. I've seen how hectic it can be to look for a job, to go into work every day. I've been there. So even though I only worked at two jobs when I graduated, I'd been working since when I was in the university. Like I'd been working. So I know how hectic it is. And I just feel like so blessed to be able to stay at home all day and still make money just by pressing my phone. And this is because of a skill I picked up just out of sheer curiosity, just out of, oh, this is fascinating. Let me learn how to do it. And he has just given me this life that I wouldn't have even dreamt of. Never. Like, I don't even think I knew back then that it was possible to just be at home and make money. I didn't know. I don't think content creation was a thing back then. It wasn't. So I feel very blessed. And this is a story I always tell people whenever they're like, I think I should learn crochet, but I'm not sure. You have nothing to lose when you learn how to crochet because it stays with you for life. I learned how to crochet in 2007. I didn't start my crochet business until 2017. That is 10 years after I learned how to crochet. The skill is not going anywhere. It won't leave you at any point in time. So if you've been wanting to learn, I just feel like I hope my story is going to inspire you. If you've been wanting to learn how to crochet, take this as your sign. If you've not thought about learning, but like you see people crocheting and you feel like, this is interesting. It will be fun to learn how to do this. I've got you. Click the link in the description box below to register for my free crochet class. I wish I had somebody to teach me how to crochet when I started. It was a lot of trial and error for me because I didn't have a guide. But you have a guide. Click the link in the description box. You're going to be able to enroll for my free 5 days crochet class. After that class, you're going to have a crochet hat ready. A crochet hat can be for yourself, you can make it for your friends and family. Best part is that if you are in need of extra money, you can actually begin selling that crochet hat on Instagram just to make money for yourself. Again, even though I didn't have anybody to guide me on my journey, you have me to guide you on your journey, which means that you're not going to be making as many mistakes that I've made because you're going to be learning from my own mistakes and you're going to be avoiding them. Click the link in the description box now to register for that class. I'll see you there, and do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more crochet content like this one. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.